Hello, Audra Lambert, and I am a real estate agent who specializes in buying and selling homes in good old Orange County, California. And today I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 things that sellers are doing that they shouldn't be doing in today's evolving marketplace. Not good. Okay, mistake number 1 is that sellers are overpricing their house. And I'm talking by a lot they're overpricing their house. They still want to have those days of remembering when the appreciation was 1% month over month or 17-18% year over year, and we're not in that market anymore. So when you go to list your house, you know, if your neighbor just sold their house for $1 million, you don't list yours for 1.2. It just doesn't work that way anymore. It used to in the old world. So if your neighbor sold their house for $1 million, and you list your house very close to that, unless it has a view or some other features that can support a higher price. But you know, buyers are getting very, very, very selective, and they know their market. They really do. So don't overprice your house. And you don't want to get into that, keep reducing your price and chase the market down. That's not what we're doing. And I'm not saying we're chasing the market down. And I really don't think that we're seeing huge price reductions, meaning once they close escrow that the comps are going down significantly. It's just that we're all kind of on that cocaine high of, yeah, my house is going to go for more. And it's not happening anymore. So do not overprice your house. In fact, I got an email from one of the agents in the area, and he has a big buck property. And he reduced his list price by $1,250,000. And that was right. You heard me right. $1,250,000. Like, do you think he was overpricing his house? And the answer is absolutely yes. And so that's what people are kind of thinking, like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll just put my house on the market and a miracle will happen. It's not happening anymore, folks. Buckle down. Be realistic. Okay, the second mistake that sellers are making is that they're accepting contingent offers. And let's define contingent, okay? That means, if they make an offer and they say, hey, please accept my offer, but I have to sell my house first, okay? That's called contingent on the sale of their property, okay? We don't like those. Those are no good. And the main reason for that is because you don't know what their buyer is going to be like, right? You don't want to accept an offer, and then these sellers are like, well, whatever. They're doing my price and they're doing my terms. Why not? I'm gonna risk it. And the reason why you don't want to do that is because when you open escrow as a seller, you are bound to that contract. And sometimes you're in a relationship with this buyer for 17, 21 days, and you have to open your house up. You have to do all these investigations. They're negotiating, and we're seeing a lot of that where these buyers will get into escrow and they see that your neighbor down the way just reduced their price, and they're like, I'm not going to buy your house unless you reduce your price. And you're like, what are you talking about? Mine has a view, that one doesn't. Well, too bad. We've already, raked you over the coals and drug you through the mud. So we're going to keep asking, and we're going to keep, sticking it to you until we get the price that we want. And that's not fun either. Like, you just got to be really careful about who you're going into escrow with, and just try to avoid any offers that are contingent on the sale of their property. And the only time I sort of will consider that, or would advise my clients to consider that, would be if they're in escrow and their property had all the contingents removed on their side, meaning that they already knew who the buyer is, they've already done their investigations, and they're pretty much in, and if they back out, there's earnest money at risk. So that's the only time I would recommend considering that. Okay, number 3, and I just don't understand this. So number 3 is sellers are not having their buyers cross-qualify with another lender. I don't understand this. So I was talking to my lender the other day, and he said 60% of the escrows are backing out of escrow because they can't get lending, okay? So just because you have a pre-qualification letter doesn't mean that your buyer is pre-qualified. So I always will recommend that my offer, or the buyer's offer that comes in, that they get cross-qualified with my lender. And the lender I use is Mazzo. They have a fantastic team, very, 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 very knowledgeable. They have a ton of experience. So they get your buyer's file and they look through it and they go, yeah, this is a good fit or not. And the nice thing about this is if anything goes kind of sideways on the initial lender, that you always have a backup lender in place that has already sort of pre-qualified them. So if this second guy, needs to jump in to save the deal, he can. And I've seen a lot of that where it's just too far down the process and they can't save the deal, so they have to back out of escrow. So all sellers out there, require your agent to cross-qualify, and all you agents out there that are working with listings, highly recommend cross-qualifying. And if you don't know who to use, JJ Mazzo. I'll link his information in the description below. Okay, the fourth mistake that sellers make is hiring inexpensive agents. Now, I'm not trying to put all you inexperienced agents down, but you know when you don't know. And in this 2 years of, COVID, cocaine, real estate market, you just hire anybody, stick a real estate badge on them and they get offers, okay? That's not where we are anymore, and I'm not trying to minimize all the work that we all did the last 2 years. But with that said, this is a different market, and you really have to know the contract. You really have to know, how to negotiate, what's customary, what's not customary. You really need to know your neighborhood. It's more important, more than ever, to have a very experienced agent. And I highly recommend that, hiring your nephew's, whatever friend because he's down and out, because you can save a few bucks, is not going to go very well. In fact, I had actually a very good friend of mine not use me. I was like kind of offended. Like, what are you talking about? I'm awesome. He's like, oh, I just feel so bad for this kid. He's never sold a property. And I told my husband, I'm like, you watch 60, 90 days down the road, I'm going to get a phone call going, oh my gosh, what do I do? Right? Because we're in a different market and you got to have a clear strategy, and you're not going to have a clear strategy unless you've done a lot of transactions and you know the market. Okay. I'm just being honest with you. So, hire an experienced agent in this new market we're in. Number 2, don't reduce commissions. You just can't. So on that buy side, you don't want to give the buyer's agent reduced commissions, and also the listing agent. You're going to have a long relationship with your listing agent, more like 60, 90 days probably in today's market. So you don't want to underpay them. Trust me, they're going to get bored with you. And there's a lot of work, and it's very expensive if you're doing it properly, meaning the listing agent's doing their job properly, which of course I always do. So, just call me. I'll list your house and I'll do a mighty good job. Okay, the 5th mistake that sellers make is that they feel like they don't really need to go to all that hassle in preparing their house for sale. Okay, so in the last 2 years, you could have power lines, or you could have, just a crummy yard, or you could be near a freeway with lots of freeway noise and you still get multiple offers. Well, we're in a totally different market. We're more in a balanced market right now. So you do need to spend that time in preparing your house for sale. I can't tell you how important that is. It really does make a difference, and you cannot skimp on those photos. You just can't. I was looking through a lot of the MLS listings this morning, and I'm just like, what? Why are they using these crummy photos? Because you have to realize in today's market, buyers are looking online first. Like, they're not going to go see a house or have their agent make a call unless they see these beautiful pictures or something to motivate them to get out of their chair and get in a car and go see your house. Okay, our big change in real estate in the last, I'd say, decade is that it's very hard to get buyers to your open house or come see the property because they see everything online. And a few years ago, we didn't have this online internet site, so we had to drive them around. So, you just throw a picture up there, it didn't matter. They wanted to see it in person. So anyway, super important to have your house in perfect condition, and I'll link a video down below about how to prepare your house for a photo shoot. Just super important. Okay, that's it for me today, and please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button if you found anything beneficial here. And if you ever have any real estate questions or just want to list your house, or you're looking for a house to buy in the area, please contact me. I'd love to meet you. Until next time.